All right, Kombat Konvo, you know what it is. We got a
Yeah,
special guest on here today, man.
yeah, we got big, strong MIMS, NWA superstar. Yeah. What's going on, brother?
What's up, my man?
It's cool.
How's it
That's
going, man?
cool. Cool. Everything straight. I know. You was telling me about something. I didn't understand quite what was going on. So I just want to make sure. Is everything good with you? Everything's good.
Yeah, no, it was just a little bit of extended family. They were having some heart issues or whatnot. It was a little bit of a surgery going on.
Okay.
But that family member has progressed past that surgery. They're feeling good right now. I actually just saw them not too long ago. They came down to visit me and my girl,
Okay.
and we had a great time chopping it up with them because it was a
That's
little bit touch
great.
and go
That's
there
great.
before that
Blessings,
surgery,
man.
man.
Blessings. Trust me, I understand family emergencies more than what you think. Trust me. Trust me. I done went through my fair share, so I definitely understand, man. We appreciate having you on today, and we've been keeping track. We've been keeping track. You've been a busy guy.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. I mean, if anything, you know what? 2022 was pretty decent year. If anything, I could say it was good overall.
Yeah,
And it was a pretty busy year. But 2023,
yeah,
2023 though, that's the
yeah.
year we really talk about. That's
Yeah.
where the real business is about to kick up. Is about to pick up, and we're gonna see it starting off this month. So there's already a few things for me in the pipeline. I had a couple things come up like towards the end of the year, a couple wrestling dates that had come up, but we're gonna make it a lot more busy starting off here.
Yeah, me and my peoples, we was just talking about like we need to come up there to where you at so that we can see some of your matches live. Cause I've actually been to Atlanta a few times, but I never been to an NWA Power event. I've been to like all types of wrestling events. Me and my brother, we've been to all
Hmm.
types of events, but we never been to an NWA Power event.
Oh no, man! You definitely have to come to an NWA Power event. So it's pretty exciting to be able to come to one of these productions and see something live that you get to watch on TV or YouTube or wherever you go. Honestly, my very first one that I ever went to, my best friend, my former tag team partner, he got to take me to an ROH show. Never been to a live show before, so that's my very first one. I think this was around like 2011, 2012. Forgive me if I'm off on the date, but I think one of the episodes they were recording when they were doing it that day in the
Yeah,
Nashville Fairgrounds was the return of AJ Styles to pro wrestling, if I remember correctly.
yeah,
So I think he had a match against Roderick Strong. So that was actually pretty exciting to be able to see two guys. At the time, I hadn't heard of Roderick Strong. I was still like, I only knew like two companies in pro wrestling. It was WWE and TNA. I didn't know anything else at that time. So hearing about ROH, hearing all the stories my friend told me, that was already exciting. And then to be able to go out there and actually see it and see, what do the kids call it these days? A banger of a match
oh
between AJ
yeah.
Styles and Roderick Strong was a crazy feeling. So I'm excited for you guys to be able to come out and see one of these live shows from NWA because it's a whole different experience.
Yeah, yeah. The last power event I watched was like I think it was week before last because I was trying to catch up because I watch
Hmm.
so much wrestling it's not even funny, and he watches so much wrestling it's not even funny. So it's like I needed to play catch up because I missed it a few episodes because of work. So I remember seeing one match. I can't quite off the top of my head, but the most memorable match I seen was on a pay per view. It was you versus Tyrus.
Oh, me versus Tyrus. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
yeah.
That one's a little bit memorable, a little bit forgettable for me, if you know what I mean. I think you might have been talking about uh, the match at Always Ready back in June.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that one, I I have never watched that match to this day. That is one weird thing about that. I like to watch my matches. Well, I don't even mean I like to. I hate watching my matches. I'm the biggest critic. I think everything I do in the ring is wrong. I'm like the worst wrestler in the world. And the people come up to me and shake my hand and be like, "Man, that was the greatest match I've ever seen." So I beat myself up over every single match. That's why I say this is the most memorable and also forgettable match ever because um, some people don't really know just yet when they've watched without hearing what exactly happened in that match. But I was concussed for most of that match. Like basically on straight up autopilot. Like luckily before I have a match, I make sure I get myself in the zone, I get my brain trained, I get my muscles ready, I get my body ready to perform. And luckily my body was in control at the time whenever I did get concussed and I rolled back up. And luckily my body remembered everything I told it and commanded it to do before I got out there. So basically you just see Mims's body versus Tyrus. You don't see the full Mims guy, like brain and body and mind all connected. No, it's just my body on autopilot, restless man fighting for dear life. That's exactly what you saw. So that's why I say it's the most forgettable, but it's the most memorable. It was the biggest match of my career so far. If anything, there's only more bigger matches to come, but still having my biggest match of my life so far happened where I'm not even controlling my body for most of the match. It's kind of crazy.
That's good, man. So I guess we want to get into some of these questions for you, man. You want to start out? You
Yeah.
start out?
No, you go ahead and start off since
One of my questions I have is if you made it to the WWE, like if you made it big, we don't know where the WWE is going now, so you don't know.
I mean, who knows? Who knows?
So if you made it to the WWE, what interest music would you come out to if you had to pick? If it was any type of genre, any type of music, what would you come out to?
Any type of genre, any type of music. See, you know me, I'm a big rap fan, obviously. That's why I'm here in the first place.
Yeah.
Love my rap music. If anything, I even saw the title of you guys' show and I was thinking like the whole battle rap appeal or whatnot. And it got me thinking back to like, middle school, high school days where I'm listening to Cassidy back and forth on the bus. Imagine myself doing the battle rapping thing myself. I ain't got the chops to battle rap. I just ain't. I can't take that kind of pressure. I can take that pressure in the ring because I can swing back at you, but I can't take that pressure. I just got to rap at some other dude, and he called me all types of itches and ums or whatnot. Um, but I'm not gonna lie, I got to be biased, man. I do have a soft spot for rock music, and that's my current theme right now. It doesn't always get played at NWA. There's just a little bit of a mix up here and there, but downstate, the guys they actually made the theme songs for a lot of bigger name pro wrestlers, especially in WWE. Specifically, we could talk about Cody's current interest thing, or we could talk about the Miz's current thing, Dolph Ziggler's. They've made a lot of great music for people so far, and if anything, one of the things that I'm kind of surprised at is that we didn't actually all like collectively get to hear the Seth Rollins theme they did for him. That he was supposed to be coming back with. So that's still on their Spotify playlist. You can find that anywhere. But they also did a song for me, and they did it. It's called Big Strong. And so there's a little bit of rapping in it, but it's mostly just that rock sound they're kind of known for.
Yeah.
And that was a great thing that had come to be, and that's a song that's like very special to my heart. So I mean, if anything, if I could have any type of music play whenever I go to WWE, it's the same music I already got right now. It was a heartfelt gift from a very good friend with Zach Call, the lead singer of Downstate.
Yeah.
And having that kind of relationship with the band now, finally getting to meet them and talk more about the song and give a little bit of creative direction here and there and create something that we all love together was a great experience for me. So honestly, I'm probably going to be one of those guys that's just like, no, I'm having the same song every time I come out, no matter where I'm at, doesn't matter where. Yeah, because like they based it off of the song. Funny thing enough, they based it off of the song I had when I first met Zach Call. Because the first time I met the lead singer of Downstate, we met at a show that we did in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So that show, it was a tried and true pro co-promotion with Wrestling for Warriors, where we were doing this great event where we got to meet a lot of very nice kids and very nice families that had all different types of stories to tell. And we got to wrestle for them for a charity event. It was fantastic, and I loved it. That's my jam, man. So we wrestled in like I think it's like a 6-way, something like that, some kind of crazy match, and we just really hit it off with each other, literally and figuratively. We really enjoyed each other's company, and then also we kind of beat each other up a little bit. And so after that, we started this relationship where we were cool with each other. We'd always catch up with each other through wrestling because, lo and behold, my boy Zach, he's trained. He made for sure after he got, whenever everybody else was getting paid regular money for the songs they were making for WWE, he was like, nah, don't pay me money. Train me. WWE, train me. Get the best trainers in the world to train me to be a pro wrestler because that's what I'm worried about. That's why I'm making this music.
Yeah.
It's for the love of pro wrestling. So kind of have that relationship with Zach, and then eventually kind of like asking that question, hey, bro, hey, my boy, I love you guys' music. Can Big Strong Mims have a song? Can I get a Big Strong song to go with the Big Strong Mims? Can I get one of those? And we put it all together, and they came up with a beat that was based off of the song that I came out to. The song that I came out to is one of my favorite songs that I had heard that year, and it came from one of my favorite movies of all time, definitely in my top 10. It's a song called Start a Riot by Duckworth. Um, I love the beat. It hits so hard in the movie, Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse. Like the song is just in the weird part of the movie. It's such a weird part of the movie. It's only played for a little bit. But I finally looked up that song. I listened to the whole thing and my mind was blown. I was like, hey, this is it. This is the song I come out to. This is the song I'm about to beat people up to. This is the soundtrack of stomping a brother out. This is the soundtrack of putting on your do-rag, putting on your Timberlands or your black Air Forces, putting on your favorite beater, and knocking somebody out. This is the song for that.
Yeah.
So we took that beat, we took that energy of that song, we took that and we made Big Strong. We just made the beat for it. Took a few months. Eventually, we got the full song, got the lyrics added to it. It's put on Spotify. It's on YouTube. It's wherever you can find music at. Now, NWA, hey, we get a little bit old school there. You know what it is: history, legacy, tradition, all that jazz. So we just have the lyrics for them. So if you're a real fan, you're a big fan of Downstate, you're a big fan of Big Strong Mims, you can go out and find the full song, find the lyrics, vibe to it. Hey, if you're not feeling the lyrics, I mean, me personally, I am. They about me. I'm not gonna feel them. Like, if it's just talking about me, it's hyping me up. I'm listening to my own hype, man. You know what I'm saying? You can always just listen to the beat. You can hear it every time I walk out at a big pay-per-view event. Matter of fact, were we just talking about some wrestling? Knoxville, January 31st. You can hear that song when I walk myself all the way to the ring and do whatever I'm doing on that show.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
I noticed you slid something in there that you're Marvel fan.
Oh, of course.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not biased. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm out of here, man. Come on. Come on, you big strong.
See, now you think I'm biased.
Come on, bro. You gotta be Superman. Come on, man.
Whoa. See, I'm not biased towards a certain side.
Yeah.
My top two favorite heroes, and unfortunately, there is an order. Unfortunately, for you, because I guess y'all just hating Marvel here or whatever. My favorite superhero is Green Lantern. I'm very open about that. I love everything to do with the Green Lantern comics. I do. Hey, I grew up watching Justice League. I saw Jon Stewart there. Actually, matter of fact, the first time I saw Green Lantern, he was the first superhero I ever saw. It was on an episode of Super Friends when I was a very small kid in the '90s. Like, I grew up in the '90s. I'm from '92. It was the best year that ever happened. It was when the world started. It was whenever I was born. So I saw an episode of Super Friends, and I was like, "Nah, this is it. This is my first exposure to superheroes. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen."
Yeah.
And then, I saw X-Men. That was the next thing I saw. Cyclops was the second superhero I ever saw. Then Gambit after that, then Wolverine.
Yeah.
But like my top two is Green Lantern and then Iron Man. I'm a big Iron Man fan.
Yeah.
I love Iron Man.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite comics. I probably have the most of just one individual character, not just like of a whole property. That's the one I have like the most figures of and comics of is Iron Man, and then like second would be like Green Lantern. I got all.
Tony Stark, the alcoholic.
Oh yeah. You know what's funny? I don't even like drinking that much. I'm not a big drinker, man. It don't even agree with me. It don't even sit on my stomach right.
Tony Stark is an alcoholic.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, no, that's what's ironic. I love Tony Stark as a character. I think that's a fantastic character, and I don't even be sipping that much. I would assume, you have a favorite character, you got to be like him in some sort of way. Most people, when they find a character they like, they see themselves in that character. That's usually why they like him so much. Me, I don't see the drinking part. I don't see the drinking part.
We friends again. We have friends. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So, all right. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I know you might hear this question a lot, but If you had the opportunity to wrestle any big name from any promotion, who would it be?
Any big name from any promotion. Huh. Do they have to be active right now?
No, they don't have to be active.
Okay. Hey, here's the easy one right there. This is gonna be my favorite wrestler of all time. Don't care what anybody says. I know we have friends right now. Hey, we might just be a quarter friends after this one if you don't like this man. But Triple H, all day. Gotta wrestle Triple H.
Nah,
Gotta either wrestle with that
we
man
like
or
Triple
against
H.
that man.
Yeah.
Triple H
Like,
is cool.
Triple H is cool. Hunter Her Townsley. Yeah.
oh, exactly.
Mr.
That's
Blue
my
Blood.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my man.
We Triple H fan. We was just talking about Triple H the other day too. We was just talking about it.
He was saying that he's trying to bring Deontay Wilder to the WWE.
Yeah?
He's trying to bring who into the WWE?
Deontay Wilder. He's trying to bring Deontay
That actually
Wilder.
isn't a bad idea.
Yeah.
That isn't a bad idea. I mean,
Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. He would bring them to the WWE if he could.
They would make. I could see that. I definitely could see.
I can see that. I can see that. I mean, hey, it's a different environment where you have different rules, and the only thing you're gonna be doing. Well, yeah, no. You can do more than what you can do in boxing. Let me back that up. So in boxing, you only got two dudes just punching each other. All I can do is just punch you in the face, punch you in the face, punch you in the stomach, punch you wherever I want to. But in pro wrestling, you got a whole different world. Punching ain't even the best option. You got all types of stuff you can do: flips, flops, kicks. Well, more of those punches. Punches off the top rope. You can do punches anywhere. And so I think expanding that rivalry that they had in boxing and bringing that into pro wrestling, where there's like any type of possibility, and you can really see that aggression fully go out. I think that's a very smart idea.
Yeah.
So just another banger idea from Triple H. This is what I'm talking about. This is why this man is the greatest. This is why he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Yeah. So all right. So you seen Dark Side of the Ring?
I've seen a few episodes of Dark Side of the Ring. I've seen a number of episodes of Dark Side of the Ring.
So my question to you is, to your knowledge, is any of that accurate, or is any of it fabricated?
I would say, because this is a very hard question to answer, just because of the fact that hey, I ain't in it. I like to mind my business. But from what I do know, a lot of those accounts are very accurate. These are things that are taken from people that a lot of people that you see as correspondents on that show, they know what they're talking about. Let's put it like that. When it comes to the business, these are people that are trusted in what they say. Obviously, it's pro wrestling. We've got to have some of our secrets. There's plenty of stories of things that have happened in pro wrestling that nobody's ever going to know about. You're never going to see a Dark Side of the Ring episode about it because either nobody's allowed to talk about it or nobody is willing to go ahead and talk about it. Mm-hmm. So just think about the entire possibility of stories you guys haven't heard. But just from what I've seen so far and then hearing other people talk about it in locker rooms that I've been in or seeing different interviews, I know that a lot of these things you see on the Dark Side of the Ring, they're going to be as accurate as possible for what we have still available and for who's still alive to talk about it, which is an unfortunate thing in pro wrestling because, as fans, you want to know anything and everything that's going on in pro wrestling. Shoot, I still do. There's stuff that I don't even know what's going on in my own locker room, going on in my own company that I don't even know about. That, of course, as a fan, I want to hear more about. Oh, what did old girl say to old dude? What is old boy doing here? Is he about to win the title? Is he about to do this and that? Mm-hmm. No, I'm ignorant to it. Sometimes blissfully ignorant to whatever goes on. I like to just have it come to me as it comes.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah. That's true. That's true as hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So next question. Who are your biggest influences in professional wrestling? Who inspired your in-ring persona? And before you answer, I want to take a few guesses. Okay, so as I watched you in the ring, I see a lot of Bad News Brown. I see Farouk, Ron Simmons. I see Ahmed Johnson. I see Big E, and I see Bobby Lashley. Am I accurate? Am I on the right track?
Ooh, you definitely had a few of them.
See all black guys.
Nah, listen. I'm looking from the perspective of his moveset, how he maneuvers around the ring, his in-ring persona, his ring gear, and like, you know what I'm saying, and his approaches on his promos. Like everything, every guy that I'm naming as of right now, these guys cut promos similar to what he does. So I'm just saying, like, accurate. It has nothing to do with skin color. It has nothing to do with skin color.
It don't. It don't.
Wow. All black guys.
Nah, it had nothing to do with skin color.
Hey, okay. I ain't hear the sirens and lights going because I didn't know the racism police was in here. Oh, throw in some white men in there, please. Put one white man in there, please. Yeah, actually, a lot of those are pretty accurate. Now, directly where I've taken inspiration from their matches, in promo style, you definitely named off, well, the big three in there. I would say I've watched a ton of Bobby Lashley matches, especially from his rookie year and then going further. So WWECW, I guess they called it, is like the nickname people have for it. I've watched a lot of his stuff currently, obviously, and then Big E was a big inspiration watching his NXT run. And I watched that more as somebody who was already trained, so I got to, deconstruct a lot of these matches a lot more. Most of these matches I have already watched as a fan. So when it came to Bobby Lashley, when it came to even Bad News Brown, or when it came to the biggest one, obviously, because the big three are Bobby, Big E, and Ron Simmons, for the list that you gave me. A lot of those matches I got to watch as a fan. Now I got to go back and watch them again as inspiration to find a moveset and make it there. So Ron is probably the most obvious one from the 3-point stance I get into before I do the flying back bump in the corner, and also like the flying clothesline I like to make a part of my moveset. I can put that anywhere in there, and that sets up my finish for the big strong slam. And taking that inspiration from Big E for understanding that when it comes to my promos, when it comes to my in-ring work, I need to be somebody who is just being who Matthew Mims is. Right. Being myself completely and just going out there and having fun. Not being, because you know how it is in pro wrestling. Let's get real here. Let's talk about race in pro wrestling. We can definitely do that. So when it comes to black male wrestlers, you get typecast into two big categories. This is something I was even told in training. I mean, it's true. It's obvious. I've had this in conversations with other people who have mentored me in the NWA, to where I know this is kind of just how it is. People will understand this and they see the pattern growing. There's two archetypes. So you got the angry at the world black man, or you got the smiley, happy to be here black man. Oh, thank you, sir, for letting me have a job. So I'm somebody who thinks that pro wrestling should be realistic in every aspect. I don't think I should go out there and cut a promo to where it's just me reading off a script and I'm saying everything verbatim. I don't think I should go into that ring and do anything that I feel uncomfortable with, that I sit here and think, well, would Matthew do this? Would teenage Matthew do this? Would young 20s Matthew do this? Would Matthew further in the future do this if this were a real fight between me and this other person? Now, everything that I do in between those ropes, I'm treating it as it's real. This is me and another person. We going at each other. Exactly how would I handle this? What's my attitude going to be? That's what I think of. What would I think in this moment? Because I've been in plenty of fights in my life, probably a little bit too much. Plenty of ones that could have been avoided. And so I like to think, what do I do in those situations? I haven't avoided this confrontation. What am I about to do about this? How am I about to lay this man out? That's how I like to bring my character out. It's just me turn up to 11. And funny enough, I'm not going to lie, it looks like there's a little bit of time for change for that, because I've been a little bit too much of I'm the happy black man and I'm glad to have a job. So, and I guess that's like that confidence for me, that's going to start spewing out in more of my promos and being more braggadocious, talking a little bit more trash, being a lot more confident, being even more of who I am, just showing a different side. Because everything you've seen so far has never been anything fake. I don't like to put that under pro wrestling. I don't like the word fake in pro wrestling. I hate that word so much when it comes to pro wrestling, because of the fact that there are people that go into pro wrestling and they're acting, they're faking this. No, the best characters in pro wrestling have always been guys being real in that situation. So that's what I always aim to be. And I don't want people to think that anything that I did in my past or anything that I said in my past was me faking anything. It's just another facet of who Matthew Mims is. And so now that I have that confidence to speak more freely and I'm not just, hey, I'm walking on eggshells, I want to make for sure that I have a job here in pro wrestling, that I don't get blacklisted or get heat here and there, I'm going to be even more of my real self. And that's still going to be silly. It's still going to be goofy. It's just going to be a little bit more laid back. It's going to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more assertive in certain aspects. And that's kind of like Big E, where I take that promo style from, where I want to take that in-ring style, how I come off, that aggressiveness. I want to take that from him because look at him. Look at all the members of the New Day. Now, when you see them, they're laughing, they're goofing, they're joking, they're having fun. They're chilling with their boys. That's what this is. That's why they have the fans they have. That's why they've been one of the most popular acts in WWE in the past, like, what, 10, 20 years? And one of the most popular acts, most decorated acts, too, because you see them go out there and you have fun because they're having fun. But and we've seen it in his championship run, which was too short, by the way. It was too short.
It definitely was.
You see Big E, the moment he feels like he's disrespected, the moment where he feels like he needs to turn it up, that smile is gone. That happy black man, I'm just happy to be here, happy to have a job. No, that goes away. That completely goes away. It's the aggressive, I'm about to crack your skull open and drink what's on the inside. That's what you get from Big E, and that's exactly what I want to be able to display in my character because that is who I am. It can switch up real quick from, oh yeah, haha, look at this dude's shoes, what he got on right now. You busted too. What'd you just say to me? It can go to that real quick.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to display a little bit more. And I feel like I've been stuck in a little bit of the, oh, snap, I might do something wrong. Oh, there's some legends around here. They might not like what I say. They might not like what I do. They might not like how I call an audible on the fly. Eh. That part of my career is over. We step into grown man territory now, so things are gonna be a bit different. I'm gonna go more for that Ron Simmons character mixed with that Big E a little bit more. Might even throw a little bit of Dwayne the Rock Johnson there because I'm surprised you didn't put that one. The Ahmed Johnson. I'm taking the most black part.
Right? Yeah. So, actually, this is a two-part question because I'm not going to ask these other questions. This is no point. One of my questions for you is, what is your dream match? Not with you, with two professional wrestlers. It could be any from any year in their prime. What's your dream match that you would have loved to see?
See, that's a little bit of a hard question, man. That is because a lot of my dream matches have already happened. It just happened at different points in people's career, so it didn't always happen when people's prime.
Yeah.
You know, we got a Booker T versus Triple H program, and that was while they were at their primes. They had a very long area of prime time, and they were definitely both in that area of being in their prime. And we got to have a program with them a couple of times, I think. Shoot, we even got good programs out of JBL during his prime with him and Eddie. I'm trying to think of anybody who I haven't been able to see do something in their prime together. Huh. We could always have a redo of old Terror Rising versus Ron Simmons again, but obviously, you know, Triple H in his prime. Let's say Triple H circa, we could say past the second DX reunion. We could say that. Like, he's King of Kings, Triple H. He's basically like legend status at this point versus a Ron Simmons that was starting that WWE run. Like, let's say Nation of Domination, like Farouk versus a Triple H that's like King of Kings, like prime. These are two big, tough guys. These are two guys that are very confident. Their attitudes obviously would clash given the characters that are given here. So they could have some very, very hard hitting smash mouth matches. Or we could even say, let's say, a JBL during the title run that he had, which was a great title run, mostly because that man was drawing heat all over the place. And we could have that JBL versus a Stan Hansen. We could have that. We could have a battle of these clotheslines and see who's the biggest, toughest, big burly man around there. Because I mean, with JBL, you see a lot of his style that is derived from that
Yeah,
Stan Hansen
definitely
character.
can.
That is derived from that. So that would be honestly great to see. Like you got the battle of the clotheslines, the battle of the lariats, whatever you want to call it, from wherever you're at. So that'd be a fantastic hard hitting match. Just big meaty men slapping meat. That's what that would be.
Yeah. Before I get to the second question, I guess you could jump on this one too. So my one of my dream matches from if they were like at their peak, the lower
Mm.
level would be Sabu versus Jeff Hardy. I think that
Mm.
would be super dope. Um,
Oh, it would.
Not Hope Hogan. The Ultimate Warrior versus Goldberg at
Ooh.
their peak, their peak.
Mm.
Uh, and I think they fought already. Uh,
They
Taz and Kurt
did.
Angle at their peak.
Yeah, they did fight.
I think they
Yes.
fought already.
Actually, no, it was still, I would consider that not exactly Kurt Angle's peak. Now, that is a very interesting thing that you bring up Taz versus Kurt Angle because that was a great debut match for Taz, and that match was fantastic. That was actually one of my favorite matches from Taz, and I actually really like Taz mostly just because of his look. So
Yeah.
he was one of like the coolest guys to me. I think whenever the SmackDown games were coming out, and then seeing him go out there with the towel on his head and the music going, and he seems like the toughest guy out there. It didn't matter that he wasn't as tall as all these other giant men that were in the WWE at the time because he was still this badass walking out. Like he looked like the guy who could take on the biggest person in the room and have absolutely no problem, no qualms about it, beat you up, knock you out, and walk on about his day. So if we had that Taz, height of his career in WCW, going against Wrestling Machine Kurt Angle, WWE Wrestling Machine or the TNA Wrestling Machine does not matter. Those two, that Kurt Angle, not the rookie year. Hey, I'm kind of like a meta heel babyface thing or whatever American Hero Kurt Angle. I want the Wrestling Machine mouthpiece in. Looks like he's gonna rip your leg off, beat you with it, send you to the hospital, rip your leg off again once it gets reattached, and then beat you with it one more time. That's what I want to see.
And one more too. A Goldberg versus Nikita Koloff.
That actually wouldn't be too bad of an idea, especially because they had a similar look. I always liked Nikita Koloff's his gear on him because he made that gear look so great, and that's why I was kind of happy to get the gear style that I got. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's not the exact same on the front part, but still, I think that actually would be a really good match. We kind of see how we would see how Goldberg would react to having somebody that's kind of around a similar size, similar build, and somebody who ain't just gonna come in there, get speared and jackhammered, and that's it. He ain't gonna take just that. You gonna do that to Nikita Koloff? I don't think so, sir.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
my
you
last
Goldberg.
question to you is, what's your favorite video game? What's your
Favorite
favorite
video
video
game?
game?
Oh man, I do play a lot of video games. That is actually really hard to say. Um, man.
This to tell me we're
So,
really friends.
oh man, it'd probably be like Barbie's Horse Adventure. Yeah, absolutely love that game. 10 out of 10, top tier
What?
game.
What?
Love riding on horses with Barbie. Honestly, it's hard to say what my favorite video game is if you classify it by just the one I played the most. But I would say actually my favorite video game of all time, still to this day, has to be because I played it recently. I like to beat this game at least like once a year. Donkey Kong Country 2, Game of the Year, every year. It still exists. Oh, it's Game of the Year. It's been Game of the Year since it came out. It's been Game of the Year since I had it, and every year after that because it's the best game. It's perfect. There's literally nothing else you
64?
could do to
64
make it any
version?
better. The what?
The 64 version or the Cube version?
No, no. We just talking about the Super Nintendo version of
Oh,
Donkey
Super
Kong
Nintendo. Yeah.
Country 2. We just talking about Donkey Kong Country 2, the greatest game ever made. See, this is the thing.
That game is very
If the
good.
game industry, it is a good game. It's so good that if the game industry would have stopped right after that game came out, we'd be fine. We could just keep playing that game every single day and we'd be
Yeah.
straight. Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 12, Injustice 3. Do we need that? No, we have Donkey Kong Country 2 at home. That's all we need. That's all we need.
You could go ahead and ask. You can ask next two questions.
Yeah. All right. So I got one side question before I go into this question. In your ring gear, right? I noticed you have a flag on your ring gear. What
Mhm.
flag? What nationality is that?
Oh, so that ring gear that I think that you're talking about, that is actually my tribute to Ron Simmons.
Oh,
So
okay.
specifically his gear from the Nation of Domination. So I call that my nation gear.
Oh,
Especially because like I try to do this and I don't do it every single time, but I try to when I wear that gear specifically. When I do the big strong MIMS pose, I try to end it off with the fist in the air, kind of like the Nation of Domination, just so people will kind of like get that idea. Because some people don't get to fully see it, or they may not fully remember exactly what Farouk wore then.
Hmm.
But it was a big thing for me, and I was inspired to get that gear made with one of the best gear makers, not one of the best gear maker, Rick Michaels of uh, of G Wrestleware, Global Wrestleware. So Rick Michaels made that gear for me. I think it was after we had a really heartfelt conversation. This was one of the most important conversations I've had in pro wrestling. We had a conversation at Starcast. It was a Starcast event that was here in the Nashville area. And this was before, it was right before Ric Flair's last match. I had a conversation with him about respect and being able to talk to the people that you really respect in pro wrestling, while you have the time to do so. Because of the fact that one of the greatest heroes in pro wrestling, somebody that as a wrestler myself, I love going back to his work. I love going back to his matches, and I love to take a lot of my inspiration, a huge chunk of it. I would say about 70% of my inspiration for everything that I do in pro wrestling and for what I want to do comes from Ron Simmons and his career. So seeing that Ron Simmons was there, it is something that actually made me nervous. I'm not one of those people that like, fanboy out about other wrestlers. I'm not. I've met a lot of like big name wrestlers, legends, blah blah blah. But this is the first time in my career that I've met somebody or I had the opportunity to meet somebody and I was like, actually, you know what, dog? Man, I would go and talk to him, but that's him right there. And
Hmm.
yeah.
I'm not on this dude's level. I can't talk to this man. This man is insert name here. It's Ron Simmons. Like, yeah, I just can't go up and walk up to this dude and just be like, hey, I'm Matthew Bins, sir. Can you shake my hand? No. So it took me a bit of time to get some courage up to go and talk to Ron Simmons because he was such a big deal to me. That's actually one of my biggest memories in pro wrestling now is getting to go up to him and talk to him and hearing that he watched the show. I didn't even know he was watching NWA because you never know who's watching. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You don't know who's in the business, who's still watching what you're doing, or who's been out of the business for a long time and probably wants nothing to do with wrestling. There's a lot of people that have been out of the business, been retired, and outside of doing signings or other things like that, and they may not even do that. They want nothing to do with the business. So I didn't know how Ron felt about it. So this is somebody that I'm really craving their approval because I base a lot of what I want to do in my career off of what he's done. And I go and meet him. We have a great conversation. We talk about the show. We talk about him inspiring me and, stuff with my moveset. And after I had that conversation with him, I went back and I thanked Rick Michaels because it was so important that I got the courage to do that from Rick. And I had the idea to go ahead and get the gear made. And Rick was so excited. He immediately started working on it. He walked me through the entire process of it as he was going along getting it made. And I was more excited than any other gear I've ever had made by Rick Michaels. And he's made all my gear so far that you've seen on NWA television to have this gear. It is still to me right now the most important gear that I have. I try to wear it the most. I wear that thing out. And I mean, he just recently made me another set of gear, a Harlem Heat inspired set of gear. The one that you probably could have seen me in New Orleans. I wore that there too. That's the last set of gear I just got made. And so, and I love Harlem Heat. Love Booker T. I try to take a lot of inspiration from Booker T. The reason I grew dreads, these is Booker T's dreads. I grew them because of him. They gonna be hanging down to my ass because of that man. And so, if anything, this is another tidbit people didn't really know about me when I came to my pro wrestling career. Originally, when I planned to do the pro wrestling thing, you know where I planned on going? The Reality of Wrestling School of Wrestling, Booker T School. That was where I planned to go in the first place. And the reason why I wanted to go there was literally because of that program he had with Triple H. And then watching this man throughout most of the Ruthless Aggression era and knowing how great he was and hearing the accolades he gets in the business and seeing how respected he is, I want to go to this man's school. My second choice, this is nothing This is nothing to down these two men at all because they are very inspirational. I've watched them very closely. My second choice was Team 3D Academy. Team 3D Academy. This is when I was first thinking about doing anything in pro wrestling. So obviously that didn't work out. I'm still glad I've been able to meet some of these men and be able to be inspired by them and show that, I appreciate what they've done, not specifically for me, but for all the fans. I appreciate it. But still, back to that gear. That's Nation of Domination, baby. I always got to represent. It's black wrestling. It's black wrestling.
Yeah. So so here's the question. So NWA being one of the most prestigious promotions on the planet, if you had to compare NWA to hip hop promotion or hip hop label, who would it be?
Who would it be?
Yeah.
You know what? Thinking about it now, if we're talking about modern day like labels, I would say I want to be compared to like a Top Dog ENT. I want to be compared to Top Dog. I do. I feel like we kind of have like without Kendrick. What?
He ain't on there no
With
more.
Kendrick, what are you talking about?
He not on Top Dog no more.
Hey, this is news to me. I did not know he had left Top Dog. He is part of the reason why Top Dog exists.
Yeah, Kendrick's gone. Wow. That was his last
album.
Man. His last album was the last
That was
album.
his last album for Top Dog. That is crazy to me because I was also a big fan of Black Hippie, and that's kind of what I see in NWA, where I can see it as similar. We got this one guy who's going to be this really big breakout star, and you got a lot of other very solid, very big stars along with him in that same group, and they're still acquiring more stars. I mean, if anything, I've not been quiet about telling people how much I love the new SZA album and how much I've been listening to it. It is just the right amount of toxicity, just the right chef's kiss. That album is fantastic. SZA.
The newest one.
You ever heard that new album? Yeah. If you haven't heard that new album, just go hear that new album. Your friends ain't gonna look into you weird just because you listen to a girl's album. Listen to everybody's album. Plus, it's 2023. Boy, just go listen to good music. That's one I highly recommend. And so, I wanted to say like, that grassroots thing of Top Dog because I kind of understood a little bit of the story. Obviously, I'm not gonna know as much as everybody else does when it comes to the story of how Top Dog came together, but kind of seeing like, Black Hippie's journey being like the real big driving force in Top Dog ENT, and then kind of seeing where Top Dog is now because of Black Hippie and these four friends kind of creating this whole thing together. It's kind of like seeing, in a weird way to compare it, it's kind of like seeing, the building blocks of it because I've been around a very long time when it comes to NWA since its inception. So I'm not, fully into everything. I didn't know everything that was going on between the big three, as I used to call them, which the big three was Billy Corgan, Dave Lagana, and then Nick Aldis. And they kind of put everything together. So kind of seeing that ground roots thing, the grassroots thing, kind of coming up and making it into something bigger is kind of the same thing I kind of saw with like, TDE. And seeing how like even their music, they talk about it all the time. I mean, I think the Wow freestyle or whatever that like J Rock and Kendrick did. And they kind of talk a bit about like, their history with Top Dog or whatever and knowing them and everything like that. And I kind of can see that same way with NWA. We've taken a small group of people and made this into a bigger thing, and it continues to grow. It's only going to get bigger. Even if the biggest star leaves, and unfortunately, I guess we're the same way that Top Dog ENT is, because our Kendrick Lamar, our Nick Aldis, he left, and that was also news to me. Did not know that was happening. We living without our Kendrick Lamar right now, but we're still continue to grow. We're still going to continue to grow and get better and succeed as we're going on because NWA, just like Top Dog ENT, is not one person. It is an idea. It is a tradition. It is a style of pro wrestling that will never die.
All right. Well, I got one more, and I don't know. You got one more?
I got like three more, but they're short though. They're like short.
All right. So my
I got you.
My last question for you is, if you had to choose throughout history of wrestling to be in a faction, which faction would you be in outside of Nation of Domination? Because I know you're going to say
Nation.
that.
I was going to say something. I
know you're going to say that. But you can say Nation of Domination. But the question is, which one would you choose? I'm gonna give you two, and what would you bring different or make yourself stand out in those factions?
Huh. Well, see that's really hard. Are we talking about like current day factions, just any
I've
factions
got
all
the hard
time?
questions. I'm sorry, yo. I'm sorry for having all the
Hey,
hard questions.
well, because especially because you narrowed it down to two. How we just gonna narrow it down to
Well,
two? We got
no,
all these
okay. Well,
great groups.
you could give me as many as you want. I just only said two because that's what I wrote down. But you could give me as
Ah,
many
no,
as you
you
want.
good, you good. You good. If anything, hey, I'll try to narrow it down to two. It's not in any specific order. It's not
Yeah.
even in the specific order of my top 10. This is going to be two groups that I think would be pretty cool if I were in them. Uh, this is going to be a weird and obscure choice, but JBL's cabinet. I would like to be in JBL's cabinet.
Okay.
I thought hey, this is no knock to Orlando Jordan. I think he's great. I think I could have been the black guy in that group. That would have been
Yeah.
pretty great for me. I thought that
Yeah.
would have been cool. I would have got some trunks just like JBL's and would have said BSM on them. Big strong Mims. Actually, that's a pretty good
Yeah.
idea. I'm gonna write that down later. Um, good gear ideas. But yeah, no, I would have loved to be in the cabinet there. I mean, the amount of heat they were drawing, and I thought that was pretty great. And finding a launch off point for my own career, I think would have been pretty easy coming out of the cabinet because you have JBL to kind of anchor off of. And it's not
Yeah.
going to be too hard, especially because, me right now, unfortunately, I'm not a big tag team wrestler, so I couldn't, like, be a part of the Basham brothers. Plus, I don't really think I look like the Bashams. I mean, I don't really got the same hairstyle, nothing like that, because they were bald. So I don't think that would really work there. But I definitely could have been in JBL's cabinet. I would have been the guy that would have been, grabbing the mic to talk a whole bunch of garbage or whatnot. When JBL was done talking, I'm gonna start spitting on the mic too. Hey, brother, and I'm black too. All right, forget both of y'all. We gonna fight, something like that.
Yeah.
They're just gonna give me the mic and be like, "Hey, Mim, say something stupid." Okay, I got you, bro. Anyways, um, the next one, hmm, I would have liked to be in the Un-Americans. The Un-Americans, just because of the fact that I would be the guy. Like, this is what I just find funny. So you guys remember when Kofi Kingston started wrestling, right? Like in WWE, and he's from Ghana, West Africa, or whatnot, and he had the accent, the Jamaican accent. He was a Jamaican guy. That's what he was. Even though he's from Africa, and I think he was raised in Boston, right? I think that's what he said on an interview before, and he's just like, yeah, I had this accent, and then I think there was some sort of match where Triple H or Shawn Michaels got on the mic and was like, hey, Kofi, what happened to your accent?
Yo, that was
And I
so
want
funny when I
to,
seen it. Yeah, I remember that. I was dying. Yeah.
and see, I want to be the dude that's like, oh yeah, I'm also an un-American sitting there, Christian and Lance Storm, and I'm just the
So,
guy from, I don't know, because it would be something funny. I'll just be like, yeah, I'm from Djibouti. And just have a straight face about it. Everybody else has probably never heard of the country Djibouti at that time or whatever outside of the like any jokes nowadays. People probably heard of the country Djibouti now, but I just say that with a straight face. The entire audience can just like chant out that I'm booty or some stuff like that. I don't know, but I'm the one black guy. I talk in a weird accent, and if anybody's just like, yeah, what's going on with your accent there? What kind of accent is that? I've never heard that before. It's a Djibouti accent. What do you have to say about it? I speak I speak the booty language. Djibouti
yeah.
something like that.
Booty
I just want to be the
language.
weird black guy in that group,
Yeah,
coming out with all kinds of funky hairstyles and funky ring gear, doing a traditional Djiboutian activities or something like that. Have some weird off the wall like ceremony or something like that with the group, just to display how not American I am. And like, give me the European title, give me the Intercontinental title, and just smash them together and make the African world title or something like that. And just everybody just hates me so much because I'm doing these weird ceremonies that make zero sense, and I'm just making up these ceremonies.
Yeah.
Like these probably aren't real Djibouti ceremonies at all. It's just making some stuff up. Have somebody banging a drum and other people eating frog legs and racing pigs around the ring, and people are thinking, "What is this guy doing? What kind of ceremony is this? This is a Djibouti ceremony. It's traditional Djibouti ceremony."
Hey man. So you get it. You got the rest of it.
Yeah. So one question I got. Maybe this might be a hard one for you. I don't know. Let me see.
Okay.
So I said, name a few bar heavy rappers who you think could cut a great wrestling promo.
Bar heavy rappers that could cut a great promo. Give me 50 Cent because he's the ultimate trash talker. Give me 50 Cent off top. Off top, gotta have 50 Cent. Let me see. Somebody else that can cut a good promo. See, I want to say the game, but I feel like he'd be like, "No, I ain't gonna talk about nothing. I'm just gonna knock this dude out. That's gonna be it." Because he's also a good trash talker too. I love the game. Um, it would have to be 50 Cent. Have to be Kanye. Just because I was a really huge fan of Kanye growing up, and then we all know how much Kanye can talk. He can get people pissed off. He's been doing that a lot lately. That man knows what he's doing when he's running them gums.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm trying to think of the last person as a rapper that's like bar heavy that could cut a good promo. Because see, the first thing I would say is like, oh yeah, another one of my favorite rappers. I just throw Common in there, but he's not somebody that's known for talking a whole bunch of garbage. I don't think he'd be that guy on the mic when it came to cutting promos. Oh, got it. I got it. Killer Mike, Killer Mike all day. Killer Mike. When they put Killer Mike and LP in Gears of War 4, after that, I didn't play any other characters except for Killer Mike because he talks so much. He talks so much trash. The entire time you're in a match with somebody, you go and you blow their body parts away or something like that. You hear Killer Mike say whatever he's saying. That's all you can hear on the other side of the screen after you got killed by me, and you get to hear that the entire game is getting under somebody's skin. So Killer Mike is like
Killer Mike.
Killer Mike is my guy for that one.
Me too.
Shoot, I mean, can I have double in there? Because I'd say Killer Mike and LP. They'd be great as a tag team, going in there and cutting promos. If you haven't listened to a Run the Jewels album, I recommend you listen to a Run the Jewels
I
album.
heard all of them.
That is exactly. So you already know what I'm talking about. You already know what I'm
I
talking
know what you're talking about.
about.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this one out, and I'm gonna go to this last one. I said all right, so we know as a professional athlete, you know what I mean. I would like to know. We would like to know what does a regular day look like for you? Like as far as a professional wrestler, what does a regular day look like?
As a professional wrestler, a regular day for me is waking up smooth at the very, very early hours of noon.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, getting up at noon because it's bright and early. Everybody's just waking up at noon o'clock. Ain't nobody else waking up that early, but your boy, because of the fact that I'm a dedicated professional athlete and I just respect my piece so much. So I wake up at noon, go ahead and make me a little smoothie, or head over to the Smoothie King. I frequent the Smoothie King. I'm a Smoothie King addict, bro. I gotta have my smoothie. After that, do your morning stretches, do my little bit of meditation. I just recently started picking up the whole meditation thing. I was literally meditating for about an hour before we had this interview to get myself in the right frame of mind to be the biggest, the strongest, the MIMSest person you ever had on the show. And so, waking up at noon, getting my smoothie in, get my meditation in. After that, dealing with my animals, got a dog and a cat, got to deal with them all the time. Hitting a quick game or whatever I'm hitting. Then I make for sure I get to the gym. Got to get my cardio in. 60 minutes of cardio. Then do an hour and a half of lifting and get my butt up out of there. And then let's say we're doing a wrestling show. So let's say we're in the future. So we're about what 2 weeks ahead, January 21st. That's the next show that I'm doing. I think it should be in the Nashville area. I'm still waiting to get the information about that show. I'm waking up. I'm doing all that at noon, butt crack of noon. I'm doing all those things that I'm doing, and then after that, I'm hitting the road. I'm going to whatever venue I'm going to have the best show alive. I show up, get my stuff ready, get myself dressed, get myself in the right frame of mind, put this match together, get ready to have the most amazing performance on this show, any show ever. This is our WrestleMania at whatever thing we're doing right now. This is WrestleMania. So go ahead, put that match together, and then go out there and do what I do best. Shake hands, kiss some babies, shake some hands, go out there, have a great wrestling match. Obviously, win. It's Big Strong Mim, so why am I not winning? That wouldn't make any sense. And we're talking about the real world right now, so of course I'm winning every single match. We ain't even playing here. Uh, Win the match, get paid, shake hands, kiss babies, shake babies, kiss hands, and then hop in my car, fly back to where I gotta go, and live a life. Come back to my house that is it's a mansion now. It's gonna be a mansion because I'm telling this story, and now it's a mansion with hundreds of women, 52 butlers, 100 ladies, 52 babies, all that jazz. You know, do what I do. Yeah, that's a normal day for a professional wrestler. Completely real, 100% factual. Didn't make up anything at all. 100% truth. That's me every day, all the time, every day.
Hey man.
Hey, that's what's up. That is what's up.
No, no.
That is wonderful. Hey, do you have any questions you want to ask us?
Oh yeah, no, I do actually. So with the length of time you guys have been doing this, what is, and this is probably gonna be hard for you guys because I mean you got to embarrass somebody here. What is the absolute worst interview you ever had and why?
He'd probably be able to
The
answer
worst what?
the worst interview you ever had and why. He'd probably be able to answer that one.
Oh, and it can't be this one. It can't be this one either because that's cheating. We're
No,
still
no,
doing
no,
this
no.
one.
This was actually
And,
years ago. I
and
had an interview with Murder Mook,
Murder
and
Mook. Oh,
he just, you know what Murder Mook is, right?
oh, I do. I
Yeah,
do. That's actually a name I have not heard in about 12 years. I have
yeah.
not heard that name.
It was on my radio show. It was called
Hmm.
Shadowcoradio, and he was just answering all the questions before we even got the chance to finish the question. It was like,
Oh,
I was like, well, who would you like to? Oh, Eminem. Next question.
oh,
It's like, bro, like I didn't even get a chance to ask you who would you like to battle. Like, and maybe I had another part to that question. Yeah, he was terrible.
yeah.
He was terrible. It
Yeah,
was
I
a
mean,
terrible interview.
you could have been saying, "Who do you want to stab in the neck next?" And he's just
Yeah, every
Eminem.
question we said,
Eminem.
he just cut us off and just jumped to something else. I'm like, here you go.
Oh,
So
oh,
that was
okay.
my, and that was years ago. This was like this is when this is before I guess this is about maybe 11 years ago. It was years ago.
Oh,
So
oh. So it's almost the last time I heard that name. Not throwing any shade on that man or whatever. I mean, I've been a fan of the work that I did get to hear from him, so I'm not exactly saying like, oh yeah, he just ain't relevant. I'm not
that's
saying
my
that.
that's it for me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, I got another one. I got another one because we have friends now. So speaking of all this half friend business, I'm gonna ask a very divisive question, and I want you guys just to come up with an answer between the both of y'all. So come to a consensus on this, and this is what's gonna make this super hard. You're gonna love this. All right. Who is the best rapper right now? Actively rapping right now. He's hands down the best. Ain't nobody better than him. We ain't even talking in a certain respect. We are talking in general. This guy is the best. And both of y'all have to come to a consensus on this. This is what
Oh,
I'm
we
trying
have
to
to
hear.
come to an agreement.
Oh yeah, come to an agreement. Who is the absolute best? Bar none, no argument. This is the guy.
I
That's
got my
him.
answer
The
already.
him of the rap game.
I got my
All
answer.
right.
100%. I got my answer. I don't know
All
if
right,
you
let's
may
hear it.
agree with me.
Who's it?
I got my answer. It's Kendrick Lamar, hands down, 100% hands down.
I can't
So,
disagree because my favorite rapper is, you know what I'm saying, I haven't heard nothing from him in a little while, so I
That's
can't
number one.
disagree.
Number two, I'm probably gonna go with Ransom as the best
mm,
rapper. That and my second, and number three would be Nas, because
okay, okay.
I think Nas, I think his career, he regenerated his career with Hit Boy.
He definitely
I
did.
think he
Okay.
did with King Disease. King Disease 1 is classic. King Disease 2,
Mm.
Good Magic was very good. King Disease 3 was excellent. That run is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? But Kendrick Lamar, no. Nobody's coming close. That dude is on another planet right now.
I can't
Oh, okay.
disagree. I can't disagree because, you know, my guys that I like Kendrick too, but you know what I'm saying, as far as like who I familiarize myself with as far as rap styles is Jadakiss. Jadakiss has been my favorite since I was a kid. And
Okay.
right now I ain't heard nothing from
You
him.
seen the interview with him and Joe Buttons?
Nah, I didn't see the nah.
Oh.
Yo, people are calling him
Ooh.
MC Gusto now.
Yeah?
Yes.
Why?
Oh.
His father came on in. His father said that Jadakiss went to college. He paid for everything. He was like, bro. You gotta watch that
Oh,
interview,
word!
bro.
I got.
Yeah,
I
people
definitely
are
got
really
one.
coming at
Oh,
Jadakiss crazy. Like, bro, you've been fake all this time. Like,
You
like,
know,
yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta watch that interview then look it up on YouTube.
You listen to Ransom?
hey. I've only heard of Ransom. I have not actually
I'm gonna
listened.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you where to start because his
Mm,
older stuff is good too. But I'm gonna tell you where to start. When during the pandemic, he did a bunch of albums.
Mm-hmm.
Start
mm,
with uh, um, director's cut 1, 2, 3, 4. Start with director's
mm.
cut one.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3 is phenomenal, unbelievably good. When I tell you, you're gonna be like shocked because he doesn't take the traditional approach of just regular hip hop beats like he does
Yeah.
like cinematic things. But it's
Hmm.
album. Basically all the director's cuts are based around horror movies. So all the stuff
Oh.
that he uses from horror movies. Then when you get to deleted scenes, it's all the themes: deleted scenes, director's cut, crime scenes, murder scenes, stuff like that. These are all albums. You get to that,
I
and then
figure.
once you get to 7, then you get to he has about within from 2019 to now, he has about 11
Hmm.
albums, like 11,
Oh, that's a lot of
and
that's
they're
a lot of
all
work.
good. Like, so you get a chance. Start with director's cut 1. The first beat when
Hmm.
it first come on, you're gonna be like, "This is crazy." Like it's good. It's good. So
Okay.
I
You
like
see,
it.
I'm a sucker for themes. I'm a sucker for themes. I love like all like the mixtapes about nothing.
Yeah,
More About Nothing was one of my favorites. I love that stuff from Wale, and I even loved like Kanye West's like first 3 or 4 albums where they all had a
yeah.
theme. I think like his first 5 albums, actually no, his first 3 albums are all in my top 5, and still to this day, Late Registration is still my favorite album of all time. It does not get unseated. I love the theme. I love the songs. Everything back and forth is the
That's your
greatest
favorite
thing
rap
ever.
hip hop album?
The what?
That's your favorite hip hop album?
Oh yeah, the bar none.
What's
That
your
is that
favorite
is my
album?
absolute favorite.
What's your favorite album?
My favorite album. It's still gotta be Late Registration. I think that's my favorite album of all time.
Oh,
Just in
favorite
general,
album
my
of all
favorite
time.
album
You?
of
What's
all
your
time.
favorite album?
My favorite album
Yeah,
Yeah,
from Kanye.
yeah, just regular album.
yeah.
Like well, I would say hip hop album because it's
Man,
hard to say.
there's a lot. I would say my favorite album, and it's not no, and as much as I like Kiss, I mean,
Mm.
Yeah,
it's not nothing from Jada. It's a traditional like boom bap.
yeah.
I would say Rakim's joint.
Paid in full,
Huh?
paid in full,
Yeah. Paying
or
Paying Full.
paid in full.
Paying
Mm.
Full was my favorite. Man, that Rakim was snapping in
Yeah.
that joint, man. Like, yeah, I would say Paying Full or the one he came out with after that. I forgot.
From R&B for president, paid in full.
Mm.
What's the other one? I ain't no joke.
Think it was I Ain't No Joke that I'm talking about. But yeah,
Then you got the R,
mhm.
the R album.
Our album was dope too. Yeah,
Um,
but
See,
I was a big on Rakim. Like those guys, like I listened to a variety of MCs, but
mm.
between Rakim, Pun, Kiss, Nas, of course, like you know what I mean, a little bit of everything. Like those are the guys who's like influenced me a lot as far as hip hop. Like I was listening to them guys like on repeat.
Well, I think you guys probably answered my final question I have here,
well,
but I was gonna give a
I
little
didn't
bit
give
of a
y'all
preface
my
here.
greatest hip hop album.
Okay. Don't let me skip over you there. Don't let me skip over you. I gotta
Hey,
hear this one.
listen. So I get a lot of flack for this being my greatest hip hop album of all time. A lot of people look at me crazy when I say this, but I have the proof to back it up because if you look at greatest albums of all time, it's number
Mm.
6 out of all the albums. I ain't talking just hip hop. To Pimp a
Oh, on
Butterfly.
whose list? To Pimp a Butterfly? All right,
Yes, hands down.
you can get that one. Yeah. See, the only reason why I think that's controversial is because it's so recent. Like, it didn't
Yeah,
it come out in like what 2015, 2016?
yeah,
So
I think it came out in 2015.
yeah. Hey, let's put it like this. if Obama put it on his list of his top songs of that year, he put a song, I think it was Black of the Berry was
Yeah,
one of the songs that was on there. That was something that's where you can take that and be like, hey man, the president of the United States said that he loved
yeah,
one of the songs
yeah.
on here. I think actually that wasn't even the only song that he had on there. I think that was his top song of that year
Yeah.
was Black of the Berry, but he had a couple songs from To Pimp a Butterfly on there. So I
I'm
think,
surprised.
hey, if
I'm
Obama says it's the
surprised he
best
put
album
Black
ever,
of the Berry on there. I'm surprised.
it was really good.
That
I didn't
song,
appreciate it
if you
as much
listen to the
until I heard
lyrics in
that.
that
Hmm.
song goes against a lot of the narratives of the black culture. Like that's a
It
excellent
does.
song, excellence.
It.
It really
I
destroys a
didn't
lot of the
appreciate it as
narratives
much
of
until he said
black
that.
culture. But go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. What's the other question?
No, 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 no. You're fine. If anything, so I'm gonna preface this question beforehand. I'm gonna say I'm a lazy man. I'm a lazy man. So I took a while to finally use Spotify for good, for the good. I went back and I started doing a little project where I'm trying to listen to more albums I never got to listen to as a kid. So I grew up in the 90s, and obviously at that time we didn't exactly have the same access to music that we have now. To where if you can think of it, it's probably somewhere. If you were like, hey, I want to listen to that Eric B and Rakim album that I'd never heard before or whatever, I want to go listen to it because I had the money to go get the record or do whatever at the time. You can go do that. If you want to hear a hit by Kool and the Gang from super long ago, from what, 30, 40 years now? Oh, you can go listen to it. If you want to hear Jay-Z's like first album, Reasonable Doubt, I went and did that and I was
Yeah.
blown away. And I didn't listen to Reasonable Doubt until last year. That was the first time I listened to it.
Wow.
That was the first time I listened to a lot of albums. So I listened to the very first album of Jay Z's I have ever heard all the way through, and you might look at me like I'm strange. It was a Blueprint 3, and I absolutely loved
Wow.
it. Loved it.
That's
I
not
was
even
in
his best work, but that's sounds alright. But
yeah,
you
that's
ask me
what's
anything
funny
about
about
hip
it.
hop, I know a lot about hip hop. He do too. But what?
Yeah,
So your
that's what's
question
so funny.
is, what
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
figuring. I'm thinking your question is, what would would we
Oh no no.
recommend? Is that the question?
Yes, it's actually going to be the question because you know what? Like I said, the first one I listened to was Blueprint 3, and I loved it. And I heard all that hate going for that album for years. And what inspired me to do this, I'm gonna tell you what inspired me to do this. This is probably the most important part of this preface.
Yeah,
So, what inspired me to even do that in the first place, starting off last year, listening to a lot of different rappers' albums, but listening to albums that I wanted to listen to as a kid that I never got to listen to was there was some debate that was going on Facebook, and this is around the time like I started to slowly stop using it. And I think somebody was talking about some versus stuff, and they were talking about a versus between Lil Wayne and Jay Z. That's what it was. Yeah,
yeah,
the verse between Lil Wayne and Jay Z. Oh man, Lil Wayne was skunk Jay Z. Blah blah. A lot of younger people are gonna say that. A lot of people in my generation are probably gonna say that, or even younger than me. You know, because I'm 30 years old, so I'm old as dirt. But a lot of people they live through most of their lives hearing Lil Wayne all the time. He's so prolific, so they're thinking, oh man, he's gonna dust Jay Z. And then somebody came in and had one of the best comments I read. They were like, I'm gonna name off 10 albums, and these are 10 of the greatest albums of all time. And guess who made all these albums? Jay Z. Why do you think Jay Z's the richest man in hip hop? Name me 10 Jay Z hits. You could do that off the bat right now.
yeah,
Somebody else came and said, ain't nobody playing Jay Z in the hood. Me and my boys don't ever play that man. We playing Wayne all the time. And I was like, oh, hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a damn
yeah,
minute. I done heard Jay Z throughout my entire life. When
yeah,
this man retired, it was supposed to be the biggest deal in hip hop. And I'm like, why are they disrespecting this man so much? I've seen on almost every greatest album of all time list, you see Reasonable Doubt somewhere on there. So
yeah.
I'm like,
That's true.
okay, let me go and actually listen to this and find out if these people are really smoking the strongest crack I've ever heard of. Okay, so I
I
go and
agree.
listen to it. I listened to like his first five albums, just starting off there. These are some of the greatest pieces of work I've ever heard. Reasonable Doubt gets all the credits due. If anything, it doesn't get enough credit right now because of how good it is. I went and found a way to buy, purchase, download, whatever, almost every single song off of Reasonable Doubt because they were that good. Almost every single song was a certified hit. They were an absolute banger. If I was trying to show anybody an album or even a song to let them know about how great Jay-Z is, I could pick any song on that album at random and it would work.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes to my question. Because I'm not always somebody who's looking for new music, but if you had an album that you're like, this is the greatest album from this rapper, and it's a rapper you really want me to hear, and you're just like, this is the album. If I have to show you a song, if I have to show you an entire piece of work, what is that? What is that album? What is that song? What is that rapper?
You answer this, or you get? Well, we both can answer it. I got some albums.
I got a few too, but go ahead and tell me.
Nipsey Hussle. What's it called? Not Mailbox Money. Chris Shaw. That's. I don't know if you ever heard that. You heard anything from Nipsey Hussle?
I have heard a lot of his music on features and a lot of his singles. I have yet to listen to a Nipsey Hussle.
You never heard Victory Lap yet?
Album. No, I haven't. Yes. I have not heard it. I have not heard it. I am actually a big fan of that man, and I have not heard that much of his music. I've heard like maybe about 7 to 8 different songs he was actually on, and I enjoyed him every time.
Good Kid, Mad City.
Oh, of course.
You heard that, of course.
Throughout my entire time in college, I was listening to that album on repeat.
So I'm gonna go a little bit earlier than that.
All right.
I'm gonna go a little bit earlier than that. I can also do rock too. Like,
oh, hey, please do, please do.
Please do. Pink Floyd, the Animals album. We can talk about that another day, because I can tell you all day about rock.
Oh, okay. Well, let me narrow down this question. So, for both of you guys, let me get 2 albums from both of you. The most important albums that you're just like, you have to listen to it. You absolutely have to.
Okay, so I'm gonna give some of the albums I'm sure you heard already. I'm sure you heard already. If I had to go hip hop, 2 albums, I had to go hip hop. Marshall Mathers LP.
Oh, we're just speaking in general.
Mathers LP.
We haven't heard that one.
That's with Kim. I think that changed the landscape.
Oh, I do remember the album. I remember the album. I just haven't listened to the whole thing. I heard the singles that he came out with, but I haven't heard the whole thing. So it might be a good one.
Who else? I think that was good. Oh man, I'm really thinking now. The Chronic. You heard that?
Have not heard the Chronic.
What?
Have not heard the Chronic.
You never heard Chronic?
Yes.
So you never heard?
I have not heard the Chronic.
You ever heard? You ever heard? Life After Death, Biggie?
I have not heard the entire album. I actually heard more of it a few years ago. I heard about half of it. I've not heard the whole thing.
Oh, so I would say start with the Chronic, and then go to Ready to Die, then Life After Death.
Okay, so still we got to narrow this down to 2.
You heard Nas's
albums? Which one?
Illmatic, and It Was Written.
I have not heard Illmatic. I heard part of Stillmatic.
So I'm gonna give you the first 2. My first 2 is gonna be for you to go to is Chronic and Illmatic. Anything else?
Chronic and Illmatic. That's your final answer. It's Chronic and Illmatic.
Chronic and Illmatic, yes.
Okay, because I mean, if anything, I'm open to Illmatic. I've been needing to for years because my favorite Nas album was actually Distant Relatives. I replayed that a ton while I was in college. Listen to every song, love it. Yes. Yeah. Africa Must Wake Up is probably my favorite song on that album. Love it. Can listen to it anytime. Absolutely love it. But now we got to hear these other 2, man.
All right. So
I want to hear him
since he named 2 hip hop albums for you to start off with and listen to, I'm gonna give you one hip hop album that just popped in my head, and I was just listening to it yesterday, and I'm gonna give you one rock soul group that I think you'll listen to that you'll definitely like. All right, so the hip hop album is Royce the 5'9" Prime. Wow. That joint, the first one. Second one was cool, but the first one was crazy. The first one, Prime, Royce the 5'9" Prime, and the group. The group that I'm talking about actually featured Michael McDonald, and the name of the group is the Doobie Brothers.
The Doobie Brothers. Okay, yeah. What's an album of theirs that I have to check out from the Doobie Brothers?
Long Train Good. I think it's called Long Train Good Night. I don't know if that's the single or the album, but it's Long Train Good Night. There's Jesus walks with me or something like that, and then one of the ones that really put them on the map was taking them to the street. Taking them to the street.
Oh, okay.
Taking them to the street. Okay. And when you listen to, and I'm not going to tell you anything else about them because I really need you to listen to them. And then we'll chat again on TikTok and you'll be like, yo, why didn't you tell me this? And I want you to really listen to them because one of the guys on there, you won't believe, you're not going to believe what nationality is. You're not going to believe.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I already like Michael McDonald. You already got me there.
Huh?
You already got me with Michael McDonald. That's all you need to say. You just be like, "Hey, check out some Michael McDonald." I'm on for it.
Check out all Michael McDonald stuff, and then check out the group that he's with, Doobie Bro. I'm telling you, you're gonna be impressed.
Okay, I got you.
Off the hook.
Africans love Michael.
Even if we circle back to Royce the 5'9".
The Africans love Michael McDonald, man.
Yo, bro, I'm sorry, man. Yo, I can't help it. Listen. Oh, man, my mother, when I was a kid, see, reason why I say Africans, cause my family's Nigerian. So, right, when my mother first came to the States, right, she had an 8-track, and she used to play Michael McDonald all the time when I was a kid, from when I was born, all the time. And I'm listening to this guy, I'm like, yo, this dude is fire. Yeah. And then when I first really got introduced to him, yeah. When I first got introduced to him was the episode of What's Happening. Rerun actually like bootleg some tickets to go see a Doobie Brothers concert. And that's when I
didn't he try to like have the tape recorder under his like shirt or something like that?
People thought he was a black guy.
Huh?
Yeah, I thought he had like a tape recorder. Like under his jacket or something like that in that episode. He was trying to record the concert or something. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought it was. Yeah, so it was that episode.
Yeah, Michael McDonald. A lot of people thought he was black. Him and what's the other dude?
The guy who made What You Won't Do for Love. Everybody thought he was black too.
Yeah.
He was a white guy. It was like Billy something.
I like Michael McDonald, man. Yeah, I like that beat.
Yeah, me too. I can't forget it. Yeah.
Oh, that's my jam. Yeah. Honestly, it's kind of weird that I really haven't listened to a lot of Royce the 5'9", just because, like, I really like Sci-Hi the Prince. I've listened to almost everything that guy has made, at least up until about, like, I think I've listened to everything he made up until, like, 2018. So, and I've never went and been like, oh yeah, let me go find a Royce the 5'9" album. I enjoy Royce the 5'9". He's featured on a lot of Sci-Hi stuff.
Just understand, Sci-Hi is here, Royce is here. When it comes to lyrics, like Royce has so much material, it's unbelievable how he just. I've never seen somebody that fits words into a sentence outside of Eminem, and I think Eminem, he kind of like. Sometimes he does his thing. You ever heard Bad Meets Evil?
Oh, tell me you heard that.
I have heard it. I've heard the song, like the single that came out for it. I've not heard the album.
Listen to both of the albums. They're both good.
Listen to both of them.
Both of them are good. Eminem and Royce the 5'9".
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
But you could go any. anywhere you go with Royce the 5'9", you're gonna be satisfied because all his stuff is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like you could go to Bar Exam, you can go to Street Hop, you can go to Prime 2, you can go to Death Certificate, everything he does. The Brooke Orion, what's the other one that he came out with? Oh, Trust the Shooter. Yeah,
Trust the Shooter was crazy. That's the one wasn't that the one that hosted by DJ Dramatic?
Yeah, that's the joint. He was like
DJ Drama, my bad.
When he was rapping and he's like it was like a fast beat. And he was rapping real fast. Yeah. That song was crazy. Yeah. What's the Book of Ryan? Yeah, man. Anywhere you go with just type in Royce the 5'9" on Spotify.
Yeah. Come up. I got you.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's a great interview, man.
Yeah,
thank you, man. We appreciate you, man.
Really appreciate you.
Thank you. You know I mean, it's one of my favorite interviews so far because I learned a lot of new stuff, and I'm walking away with this with at least I think we named off like almost 15 albums I got to go listen to like right now. And I'm not going to BS you. Probably right after I shut this interview down, I'm probably going to start off with The Chronic.
The Chronic and Doggy Styles, that they go hand in hand.
Facts.
The Chronic and the Snoop Dogg Doggy Styles. It's like a continuation.
Yeah.
So if you like The Chronic, just go right into Doggy Style. Don't go into Doggy Style. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hope I know what you mean.
But yeah, man, thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate you, man.
Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. I really appreciate your time, bro.
All right, man.
All right, take care.
Take care, brother.
Yeah, you guys have a good one, man.